All right, YouTube, what's going on? I'm back with another video. It's your boy, the man with the plan, Sora Life Story. And man, we're just gonna get straight to the point and straight to it. Today we talking about Nintendo. And man, dude, what can I say? What can I say with nothing about Nintendo besides man, Nintendo has been really successful for the past just about 70 years. Uh, I don't know, man. They've just been doing just incredible just with the Switch and just their business model. But I want to talk about what nobody else talks about. Or maybe they do. They just don't exclaim about it enough. And man, just how long it's taken for not only for Nintendo to announce their next console, for us to even know what it is. Is it a Switch 2? Is it a doc? I've been kind of just burnt out for a while on whatever the next platform is for Nintendo as far as something that's more powerful than the Switch. Whether it was a Switch Pro, whether it was a Switch 2, Super Switch, whatever. I've been burnt out on that for a while because I kind of just accepted that hey, the Nintendo Switch that we have currently, which includes the Switch Lite, uh, regular Switch model, and Switch OLED, is pretty much just where we're at right now. And Nintendo is happy with it. Investors are happy with it for the most part. Even they have been asking about new hardware. But, they're all happy with it because it's making money. Even though the sales have slowed a little bit, they've been consistent enough to where, hey, Nintendo's okay with it. But I think that was a really big issue for them to have gone so long without us knowing anything about whatever their next hardware is. And I know that Furukawa or whoever was on Twitter typing after Furukawa, uh, you know, came out on Twitter and pretty much said that, hey, we're going to announce it within the next fiscal year, which that could be all the way in March 2025. For all we know, it could be all the way until next year. They might not even announce anything at all this year. But I say all that to say is that I still don't think it was very healthy for the brand to have gone this long. As much as I love the Switch and think it has been a great console, as you can see, I got some Tears of the Kingdom here. Um, I just believe that it shouldn't have gone this long just without knowing nothing. Because even if it was, say, something that releases next year in 2025, I would have started the hype cycle late 2023. I think they should have done like they did with the original Switch. The Wii U was already dead by that point. The Switch was not dead by this point, and it even had Tears of the Kingdom. But I would have still Tears of the Kingdom would have been released, and we would have said, "Hey, like November last year, just another little teaser." It didn't even have to be a big blowout, and you wouldn't have even had to do a big blowout this year. I would have just done another teaser before the big blowout. But for me, I feel like they went too long without anything, and because of that, I think the expectations are going to be really high. And it's not helping with what is leaked out and what is supposedly confirmed specs of the system. Because even when we do get the full blowout and we do get the hardware, Nintendo is not going to release specs for this thing. We won't know the full specs until we have it in our hands and someone is able to do a hardware breakdown and tell us everything that's going on in there. And if they do something with specs, is gonna be from a third party source. It's not gonna be from like Nintendo themselves because they don't tell us about the hardware. Even with the original Nintendo Switch, when you go look at the hardware specs, it says custom NVIDIA Tegra processor. They will not tell us the specs, but yeah, it is really it's not discouraging, but just right now in the Switch life cycle, even though there's still games releasing, it kind of feels like that Wii U kind of dry spell of like, well, okay, we got Tears of the Kingdom near the end of the last year. Not in the end, but the middle of the last year. And then after that, there hasn't really been much super exciting. And even before that, what has really been like grandiose or very exciting coming from the Switch before Tears of the Kingdom? I mean, I guess you could say Super Mario Bros. Wonder, but that came and went. It released, and it was like, okay, new 2D Super Mario game. There hasn't been another major 3D Mario game since Odyssey. I mean, we've had ports with like 3D World and Bowser's Fury, but that was not last year. That wasn't even the year before. Um, just big major releases, anything to get you super enticed or excited to really play the Switch. Outside of like you're just a fan of certain series that have gotten ports to the system, there hasn't been that title that's like, oh yeah, you need to own a Switch for that for a while. I'd say since like 2019, 2020. Of course, counting Zelda nowadays with 2023, but I mean, even then, Tears of the Kingdom has kind of come and run its course as well. And I'm still playing through it, but s- slow and easy does it. But yeah, there hasn't been that, and then there's the whole Metroid Prime 4 fiasco. Like, no one really knows if it'll still even be on this current Switch. And even then, I think the best bet for it would be for it to be a cross gen game. But will it even be a cross gen game? Like, we really don't know. Uh, this game restarted development, I believe 2019 or 2020, and we've heard nothing about it since. We've got Metroid Prime Remastered. We got that last year, but like that came and went. And where are the other two games? Because you still got Prime 4 to consider. It's a really weird space being a Nintendo fan, a Nintendo gamer right now, because I'm excited for the new hardware, but I'm also like, they haven't really dropped anything too exciting, you know, and it's a little embarrassing because it's like, I really like the Switch and all that, but third party ports on Switch are just starting to not be that great anymore, or not be that worthwhile, especially when you have the competition with stuff like the Steam Deck, Asus ROG Ally. And I know people are gonna say, "Oh, well, those are PCs." And look, look, everything's a PC. Your Switch is a PC. Actually, it's a tablet hardware, but it's still PC. It's got Nvidia. It's got Nvidia specs, man. It's got an Nvidia Tegra X1, which is a Nvidia APU with ARM CPUs and the Tegra graphics chip and all that. Everything's a PC. It's all PC architecture stuff. So even though the software on it might be a little different, look, man, it's all PCs. So to try to discredit the market of the handheld PCs against the Switch and saying, "Oh, it's just a handheld," or "Oh, no, it's not the same," that's not true. It is. They are competing for the same market share, competing for the same people, and you guys just gotta accept that. And when you have a space where there's all these handhelds now that are much more powerful than the Nintendo Switch, they are much more powerful than the Nintendo Switch. And it's taken this long for the successor, whether it's iterative or whether it's something completely new, we don't know. When it's taken this long, that's a bit of an issue because, for one, it shows complacency where they're at, and they shouldn't be, because you want to keep getting games because that's how you're going to keep selling Switches, which is what we say about all these other companies, about Microsoft, about Sony. You need to have those games, you need to have those exclusive games. Well, Nintendo hasn't been releasing that many Nintendo exclusive games recently on the Switch, not ones that are those high budget games that are must have for Switch. Those just haven't been coming out recently. Let's be real. Since Tears of the Kingdom, since Mario Wonder, and like I said, even then with those games, Tears of the Kingdom was originally supposed to be a DLC for Breath of the Wild. Let's keep it 10K. As great as the game is, with the Sky stuff and with the other stuff, it's still only been out for a year. I don't want to spoil too much, but with the Sky stuff and with the other stuff, like, outside of that, what else do we really have, as far as it comes with Tears of the Kingdom? It's not much. Mario Bros. Wonder is great. It's another 2D Mario game, though. Like, those will always be great. They will always be fresh. But it is still a 2D Mario game. It is not the highest budget game. And I'm not complaining. They're still releasing games. But right now, it is really like another dry spell. And it's like, we're not really talking about Nintendo right now. Everything with Nintendo right now is just speculation and guesses. We don't really know what's up next. We have a direct coming soon, I think in June. I think Furukawa said that as well. It's in June or July. But who's really excited for that? Like, every time I see another direct come, I'm like, cool. And then I watch it and I'm like, that was nice. But like, you can tell that we're just in that dry season. And that's cool, but I feel like they should have there should have been a better way of going about announcing this system. I know that they are scared. They had a really successful system, and then people aren't any better. It's like people put curses on Nintendo because they say, "Oh, well, Nintendo has never done good after they have a really good system. They have a really good system, and then the next system fails." Have some hope, because my thing is, when y'all say that with that naysaying type and all that, when y'all say that, you show your hypocrisy, because at the end of the day, success of a company, just like I said in my last video, success of a company is entirely based on, especially the consumer, especially us as gamers. The success of gaming companies, of Nintendo, of Sony, of Microsoft, of Sega, of Ubisoft, of all of these developers, publishers, console creators, all of this is all dependent on the gamer. That was shown with Helldivers 2. That was shown with Hi-Fi Rush. That was shown with so many games. And so when you say, "Oh, well, they're afraid because every time they have a new system, they might fail and all of that," you're pretty much saying that you might not buy a Switch 2, or casuals or whoever might not buy a Switch 2. And we don't know that. We just don't know that. All we can do is, since it's a business and since they are dealing with consumer electronic products, just release it and talk about it and get people hype. That's all you can do, because despite, decline in sales or whatnot, for some reason Apple can still sell people iPhone every year, and all it is an iterative uh thing. But Apple can sell a new phone every year. Samsung can sell a new phone every year. The Switch is a handheld device. Steam Deck, with the Steam Deck OLED, after a year and a half, they were able to be selling a Steam Deck OLED, and the Steam Deck has been a healthy business. And then you got all these other companies releasing handheld PCs and coming out with stuff like that. For one, as gamers, we don't need to be feared for the business. But if we like the business, we should support it. But for two, that's Nintendo's problem. Y'all, we all want the new system and we're all excited for it. But going on from that point, I want to say that, look, temper your expectations. Temper your expectations, because this has been going on for years with Switch Pro, with Switch 2. Temper your expectations for this hardware. I want it to be another powerful portable piece of kit. that we can dock, and on dock is more powerful, stuff like that. I want that. I want it to be that. But temper your expectations. I have learned that so much with this gaming hobby over the past decade. Temper your expectations. Because a lot of you guys are getting really hyped. Especially you guys that have been talking about Switch Pro and Switch 2 for forever. Have been hyping it up forever. Temper your expectations because we know we're not going to hear the end of it when they do announce it and when they do give us this little teaser clip, and people, it's going to only be like 2 to 3 minutes, but people are going to skim it and pull out every little detail and all that. Temper your expectations and remind Nintendo to come with the games. That is all for this video. That is all I wanted to talk about with the Nintendo situation. I don't really have too much bad to say about Nintendo because I really like Nintendo. I love Nintendo. And when they combined themselves with the handheld, I was in love because Nintendo handhelds has been one of the biggest, one of the greatest things of my life is that I've always had a Nintendo handheld. The only Nintendo handheld that I have not owned and still do not own to this day is a 3DS. And I still regret it to this day. But I got a decent PC, so one of these days I'm gonna boot up that Citra emulator and I'm gonna start playing some 3DS games that I never got to play at like 1080p or 1440p or 4K at like 1,000. Yes, but man, I'm getting off tangent. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about Nintendo today. That's the whole point of this video. If you guys have any thoughts, any responses, drop it in the comments on all my videos. I am not gonna promote you to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's just have a conversation. This is what it's all about. And if you do like my channel, you can do all that. But we're just here to talk, man. This is Sora Life Story, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.